Okay, it's recording. All right, here we go. 5.6. We are going to cover the derivatives of inverse trigonometric functions. And so the first one is the derivative of arc sine of U. So that would be u prime over the square root of 1 minus u squared. And if you've been working on your list of 20 things, 20 times, you've seen this. The first three we do are on the list. The other three are not because they're not covered on the AP exam, at least the AB that we're doing. So what's nice though about the left column is the right column just has a negative in front. That's the only difference. So arc tan u is u prime over 1 plus u squared. So these first three I put a star next to. Those you need to memorize. The other three that if I do put it on a quiz or a test, I'll give you those to use, okay? All right. Arc cotangent u is just a negative out front. Arc secant u, this one's really unusual. It's u prime over the absolute value of u times the square root of u squared minus 1. Then arc cosecant just has a negative out front. Okay? So what we're going to do is, this is actually a fairly short lesson, but we're going to do something that we did with that other work. We have an in-class worksheet that I'm going to let you work and just practice and hopefully get these down. All right, in example 1, if I want to do the derivative of arc sine 2x, that means this is my u. So arc sine says you take the derivative of that, which is 2, over the square root of 1 minus 2x being squared. Well, when you do 2x and you square it, that's a 4x squared. So these are actually very easy to do if you know the formula, okay? Letter B, if I want the derivative of arc tan 3x, so I look at the formula, it says do the derivative over 1 plus, and if you can do it in your head, you see how easy this is? It really is that simple. Okay, letter C. The derivative of arc sine square root x. Okay, well, the square root of x, I bring down the power and decrease the power by 1 over, and it's the square root of 1 minus the square root of x squared. Now don't let this bother you. We've been dealing with complex fractions enough. The 2 and the square root both come down, right? So that's 1 over 2 square root x times the square root of 1 minus x. That's it. And you don't rationalize. We're not going to worry about rationalizing. All right, arc secant. So arc secant says I take the derivative of the inside. The inside is e to the 2x. So that's e to the 2x times 2 over the absolute value of e to the 2x times the square root of e to the 2x squared minus 1. Now I need to tidy this up a little bit. I actually don't need an absolute value around e to the 2x because if you think about what e to the 2x is, it's exponential growth. It's always the y values are always positive, so I don't need it. If you left it, it wouldn't take off. And then this is going to be the square root of e to the 4x minus 1. So do you see, I mean, that's really the most difficult it's going to be in terms of finding that derivative or tidying it up. All right. Then we're going to do this one. Okay, I need you to find this one, and that's actually going to be the last one we're going to do, okay? That's all we're doing. It's a derivative that can be simplified. So if y equals arc sine x plus x square root 1 minus x squared, if you want to find y prime, so look at the chart for the derivative of arc sine. It says find the derivative of u, which is 1, over the square root of 1 minus the u squared. So that's square root 1 minus x squared. Plus, now this is a regular product rule. So I'm going to take the first times the derivative of the second. Don't forget the chain rule. Now that's a negative. My bar just kind of got stuck in there. Plus the second, and I'm going to rewrite it as 1 minus x squared to the 1/2 times the derivative of the first. So does everybody follow what I've done? Now, it's the algebra simplification that's going to be interesting. This is 1 over the square root of 1 minus x squared. Yeah?
Oh, no, it's probably your punchline.
Okay. All right. The 2's cancel, and this becomes minus x squared. Now, that's over the square root, right? Because that's to the negative 1/2. And then I have plus, and that's the square root of 1 minus x squared. Watch what I can do. This is really, really neat. The common denominator is the square root of 1 minus x squared. So I need to multiply this one by the square root of 1 minus x squared. And let me continue it here. So that becomes 1 minus x squared plus, now what's the square root times the square root? Just the inside, good, which is 1 minus x squared. And it's all over the common denominator. All right, this is the problem that doesn't seem to end. This is 2 minus 2x squared. And like I've mentioned before, like I know you can do your derivatives, but like if this is a multiple choice question, and they don't have this, they don't have this, they don't have this, you have to understand how to keep going. So I can factor out a 2, and then let's go ahead and rewrite that as 1 minus x squared to the 1/2. Because then if you subtract exponents, 1 minus 1/2 is 1/2, right? So this is 2 square root 1 minus x squared. You see how I did that? All right.